Welcome back to the City Rundown for the week of December 15th to the 19th. This is our pre-Christmas episode. So we have some top stories from this week from the top of the Panhandle. The Amarillo Police Department has gotten a new chief of police. We have some updates regarding West Texas A&M University and the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum. We also have some updates regarding the role of the Wild West Wildlife Rehabilitation Center and our Amarillo Zoo. So getting into it this week, for our first story is APD's new chief of police. Thomas Hoover has accepted an offer and for the Amarillo chief of police pending completion of pre-employment requirements. He was selected out of a field of 3 finalists. Let's watch this short clip regarding our new chief of police.
Thomas Hoover has accepted a conditional offer to be Amarillo Police Department's next chief of police. Thank you for joining us. Clint has the evening off. The city made the announcement today, concluding a months-long comprehensive recruitment and search process. That story, part of our Democracy 2025 coverage, first on Fox Tonight. After months of public input, staff feedback, and multiple interview panels, Thomas Hoover is set to be Amarillo's next chief of police.
It really came down to his background. He's currently over patrol and special operations. He has a lot of experience with real-time crime centers. He's dealt a lot with the homeless challenges in Irving. He's also done a lot with just advancing new technology and new initiatives in the department, which is a lot of what we have going on now.
Hoover has 25 years of experience and is currently the assistant chief for Irving Police Department. At the Meet the Finalist event, Hoover shared if selected, he's been the first 100 days listening.
Not just within the organization itself, but also the other directors and community members, right? I think over time, I can build a good 3 to 5 year plan, but that's going to take a couple months to get that done. But the biggest part, what I want to do is not come in with any preconceived notions or ideas. The idea is to understand and listen.
After it was announced that Hoover will be the next chief, he expressed his gratitude and shared he was humbled to have this opportunity and ready to serve Amarillo, saying in part, quote, "I am excited to work alongside the dedicated men and women of the Amarillo Police Department and to build upon the strong foundation that defines this outstanding organization." Freeman shared it was a tough decision, but Hoover's humbleness, thought process, and plan to listen first is what made him stand out.
I think that'll go well with our team at the department, that they know that they're going to have a voice in major changes.
Hoover's conditional offer is contingent upon successful completion of a background check and confirmation by council at the January 13th meeting, with a potential start date 1 to 2 weeks later. In a statement, Mayor Cole Stanley expressed Hoover as the support of the public and department is set up for success. To see our full interview with Hoover during the Meet and the Finalist event, head to myhighplains.com. Thomas Hoover has accepted a
And we have a full story regarding all of that and also the other finalists that were involved on myhighplains.com. Our next story this week is we have some updates regarding the university and the museum. Dr. Walter Windler was able to give a presser with us and other stations, and they had a meeting to discuss the next steps for the museum. PPHM and the society have been given a date of February 1st, 2026. And also WT has asked that they split the monthly costs with PPHM society of maintaining the facility and utilities beginning on February 1st until it's completely vacated. But for now, again, all of the artifacts and stuff are safe in that building until they can be moved. Let's watch a short clip to see what all of it means in total.
Welcome back. West Texas A&M University and the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum are parting ways. And today, the president of WT and the board of the Panhandle Plains Historical Society held a meeting to discuss the next steps for the museum.
Fox 14's Jack Kessler has more from what came from that meeting.
In a prepared statement, Dr. Windler said for 5 decades, WT&MU has unsuccessfully sought to secure additional funding for PPHM. And he says the funds used by WT to support the museum, which currently amounts to slightly under $100,000 a month, comes from the general university budget.
There's a joint decision from the Texas A&M University system and two chancellors, Chancellor Sharp and now Chancellor Hager, to find a way to preserve this important history for both our region and our state, and recognizing that we do not have the resources to do that. $100,000 a month we now spend, and we have no funding stream for that except taking it from other budgets, belt tightening.
Wendler says he was hopeful up until a month ago.
We tried so many things. The system has provided us $2 million in planning funds to investigate alternatives. We used it. Important thing that an executive of a university needs to make sure, and that is that its facilities, our facilities that serve the state, are safe.
Wendler adds, in a letter delivered today, he asked the society to submit a plan by February 1st, 2026, that would outline the transfer of artifacts from the museum to an appropriate location.
I'd like to have that plan, at least a first draft of it, by February 2026, because we've been at this for a long time, and we need to find a way to move forward.
He also says that since the PPHM functions as a storage facility for artifacts, he is also requesting that WT and PPHS split the monthly costs of maintaining the facility and utilities equally beginning February 1st, 2026, until it is completely vacated. Wendler says that once that building is vacated, the plan is to restore Pioneer Hall.
And the Chancellor has committed to helping me develop a funding stream so that we can do that and return that building to its original significance, because it is on the historic register. The rest of the buildings that are there would be razed. They're unfit for human habitation. Some of them are drastically unfit for human habitation, according to current codes and standards.
Now, in a statement from the Panhandle Plains Historical Society Board of Trustees, they say, quote, President Wendler has asked the Panhandle Plains Historical Society to develop a plan to vacate the museum building on the WT campus and relocate our collection to another location. He has asked for a written plan by February 1st. We are working on a timeline. Our focus right now is on the future, and we are moving forward, end quote. Live in studio, Jack Kessler, Fox 14 News. Maya, Clint.
Jack, thank you. Wendler says he personally believes that finding or building a facility on or near Interstate 40 in Amarillo that could house the PPH's collection makes sense.
To see Dr. Wendler's full news conference and to look at that letter, you can go to our website, myhighplains.com.
And that was a great clip for one of our evening newscasts about the whole situation. So moving on to our next story, we were able to sit down with founder and executive director of Wild West Wildlife, Stephanie Brady, as she begins taking on training and how to understand our Amarillo Zoo operations before the proposal is approved. We were able to sit down with her to figure out where she's at in the stages of training, despite the proposal not being approved for them to begin in as a bigger role involved with the Amarillo Zoo. Brady did say that an operational transition could begin as early as February 1st. However, no final decision has been made. We have a short clip from one of our newscasts and to showcase what that could look like.
A local nonprofit is preparing for a possible new role at the Amarillo Zoo.
Thank you for joining us. It's a story we've been following for a while. Fox 14's Blas Guerrero has details on what this could mean if the plan moves forward. He joins us in studio. That story, a part of our Democracy 2025 coverage tonight, first on Fox.
The Wild West Wildlife Rehabilitation Center says big changes could be ahead for the Amarillo Zoo, but stressed that nothing is official yet. The nonprofit presented a proposal to the Amarillo City Council in November. The proposal would shift day-to-day operations to a separate nonprofit organization. Founder and Executive Director Stephanie Brady says her team has already started training at the zoo while contract details are still being finalized. Under the plan, Wild West Wildlife and the Amarillo Zoo would operate as two separate nonprofits.
And we're not going to take all of our animals at Wild West and go fill up the zoo. The zoo usually has a lot of exotics, although they do have some native animals there. And so we're still in the baby phases. Nothing's official until it goes to council on January 13th.
She adds that the current zoo staff have actively been involved to establish procedures and standards of care. The organization does not plan to relocate animals from its current location into the zoo, saying that the zoo primarily houses exotic species and would operate as a zoo. If approved, Brady says the transition could begin as early as February. In the studio, Blasco Earl, Fox 14 News.
No final decision has been made.
The proposal is expected to return to the City Council in January for a possible vote.
And that was a great clip to get a closer look on what that could mean for the Amarillo Zoo. We will be taking a quick little break, and then we'll get into some of our honorable mentions from the week and also what to look forward to next week with Christmas. And welcome back. We are going to go into some of our honorable mentions for the week. Some of our honorable mentions I had to include because they were big. However, they didn't give a big spot in the news this week. So one of them this week is there was a recent announcement of Paxton suing XL Energy for the Smokehouse Creek fire. There has been 11 communities from the Texas Panhandle named the Lone Star 11 Coalition to seek accountability after the 2024 wildfires. They announced the formation of the coalition informed in what organized said is response to years of negligent operations by Minnesota-based XL Energy and the growing threat of preventable utility-caused wildfires in one of the most fire-prone regions of the country. Some of our next honorable mentions from the week is Sharpened Iron Studios was court-ordered to vacate Amarillo College on property on Tuesday. Earlier this year, Amarillo College announced that the Board of Regents would notify Sharpened Iron Studios that its 50-year lease agreement of the college downtown Amarillo property has been terminated. And this week, Amarillo College stated that their focus is on developing the next facilities in their master plan to ensure all campus spaces are being used. Our next honorable mention for the week is that TxDOT Amarillo District released their safety projects that are continuing to move forward. They announced several safety improvement projects along I-27 and State Loop 335 that are continuing to make progress. Most of the projects are expected to be completed in various dates and timeframes in 2026, 2027, and 2028. All those projects, of course, are weather permitting, but they have estimated times of completion on our website on myhighplains.com. Looking into our Panhandle Planner, we have not really some events, but just some stories from us to look forward to. So a local cheerleader is heading to Disney to perform in their Christmas parade. Keep an eye out for our coverage on local Christmas light displays, and this week we should be finishing up on a major story of the top stories and highlights of 2025. Getting into our next thing today, we have our Route 66 Rewind from the Amarillo Daily. It was from December 19th, 1925. It was a grand jury in Potter County condemned slot machines. The jury stated that the machines were a menace to the morals of the community, which I thought was a very interesting wording to be used. In our weather watch from Chief Meteorologist John Harris, Saturday looks to be warm in the 70s, while Sunday will cool back down, and then a look ahead into Christmas. The low to mid 70s could play daily from Monday through Wednesday, Christmas Eve, while Christmas Day, Thursday, might reach close to 80 degrees. So look for a warm Christmas and maybe less of a white Christmas. And that's it for our Yellow City Rundown for this week. We look forward to next week and hopefully with a Christmas episode. And I'll give you some fun Christmas things from around the Panhandle. And maybe a look back to what Christmas was like maybe 100 years ago. We'll see you next week.